You always were.
Alright, alright, alright. Here we are. We're back with another stream. Just turning my notifications off to make sure that I don't get interrupted, because that'd be a real shame. All right. Okay, cool. Right, we've got notifications off. We've got drinks. We've got a stream. We've got development today. We've got, well, we're finishing up the UI element, and we are finishing up, well, we're starting some more level design, because I really want to take you guys through that process. I'd like to also live, like, kind of like in a workshop kind of way. I'd like to come up with a concept together for something new. Obviously, we're nowhere near with the current game that we're working on, but I just wanted to kind of like take you guys through that process, kind of through the steps that I go through, to see if there's anything in there that might be useful for people, right? So we might do that today as well. Hey, Jugga, how you doing? I hope you're doing well on this fine Saturday. So we're gonna look at that. So we're gonna look at UI element, level design, and then hopefully a bit of concept development. And then also, I saw a really cool game that I want to play on r/play my game. And so adding that would be great, adding that to the agenda, because I'd like to take a look at it, see what it's like, see if there's any feedback that we can apply, and things we can learn from it, right? So, hey Larissa, how you doing? I hope you're doing well as well. Also, I have gone, bit of an anecdote. I went to the gym again last week, twice even. Together with a personal trainer, and it's been great because it's been months since I went, and I mean, you could tell that it's been months that I went, both in my physical size, but also in terms of the muscle pain that I currently have is just insane. I'm currently using the standing mode of the desk, so that I don't have to sit down, but my legs are in pain, so life's great right now. So yeah, but maybe like midway through the stream when my legs get tired from standing and like the pain starts seeping through, that's maybe when we switch the desk to sitting mode, right? Woo, fit boy, yeah, if only, right? I've got 7 weeks left until my holiday, and by no means do I intend to get like completely buff and fit or whatever in 7 weeks, because I absolutely am aware that is impossible. I've been on this journey for 2 years now, 2.5 years now. And I'm, well, since I started, 12 kilos down, but there's another 10 or another 12 to go, give or take. So I'm just seeing what I can get done before the holiday, seeing if I can shed a few more pounds, and then after that we just continue, right? That's just how it goes. It's something that's going to take some time, and that's okay. But yeah, so muscle pain is a thing, so awesome. Luckily though, my brain, my biggest muscle yet, is the brain a muscle? Or is it an organ? Let's find out. I actually don't know. This is stupid. Hold on. Is the brain a muscle? Ah, the brain itself is not a muscle. It contains blood vessels and nerves, including neurons and glial cells. And so I suppose that would make it an organ, right? Internet? This is a very... Oh yeah, the brain is an organ with no actual muscle except for the muscle tissue in the middle layer of the arteries that carry blood to the brain. There you go. We've learned new things. So the brain is an organ. A very unusual and complex one at that. Amazing. That's weird, isn't it, though? Like the fact that right now we are discussing if the brain is an organ or a muscle. You know, there's nothing necessarily weird about that. But my brain is coming up with those thoughts, right? It's my brain thinking that about itself. I just find that a crazy concept. I find it such a wonderfully complex concept, but it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I have no idea how to deal with that information. But yeah, okay, all right. Stop giving me a headache. Yeah, sorry, I'm giving myself a headache. But that's okay, because that means that we can move on to quickly doing a browse to the marketplace, seeing if there's anything new, interesting in here, because you never know, there might always be cool stuff. And then we'll hop into the engine, finish up hopefully the UI and save game work. I really hope we can do that today. And then after that, some level design. That'd be good. That'd be very good. All right, let's see what's in here. Some new sounds and things. Stylized environment, that looks pretty cool. Oh, I have to share this with you guys. Hold on, because yesterday, Was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. I don't know if you guys are aware of the movie Sing, right? I can't play any trailers or anything because obviously it's copyrighted stuff. Um, but I've seen this film a few years ago, and I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really, really amazing. The songs, the animation, the modeling, everything from start to finish was really, really cool. And so they made a second part quite recently, and it came out, and we decided as a family to watch it yesterday. And just it's just I can't believe that they managed to create another really amazing film after the first one was so incredibly amazing, right? And so what I mainly mean, hopefully this hits some good, yeah. So some of this stuff, it's just incredibly wonderful. I wish I could show you like actual like pieces of the movie, but I know I can't because obviously copyright. But some of the set building and everything is just incredible. And I'm trying to find the most incredible ones. Can I trying to? I'm also trying to get in a resolution that you guys can see it. What if I do scenes? Does that work? Not really. It still really doesn't. It still really doesn't show a lot. But anyway, I would highly, highly, highly recommend looking at this film if you love quality animation. Yeah, so one of Eminem's songs is in it, and not for a very long time. I think it's like maybe like 20 or 30 seconds, but yeah, it's pretty funny. It's so well done, all of it. It's funny, it's clever, all of it's very polished. Yeah. No, not joking. They have really like high profile songs there. I think yeah, Bono is one of the people that is like in the movie. Like he does the voice and everything. It's pretty incredible stuff. It's really, really cool. I definitely recommend it. If you're interested in that, I definitely recommend it. On the other hand, though, you can also get yourself a sunfish for 23 euros if you'd like that. Assassin parkour system. What is this? Oh, please tell me there's a video. Yes, there is. Let's find out what this is, huh? Yes, I'm aware I'm going to an external site. Nope, I don't want any of this crap. Show me. Oh, okay, yep, there's, alright. Yep, okay, that'd be cool. Let me just actually see it, though. Whoa. Oh, it's very Assassin's Creed style. But it looks a bit whack. Is the video sped up? The video looks really like low performance. Because this looks cool, but the way that the video is shot makes it look bad. So it's just a heads up. I'm sure this is great, but yeah. What else? Yeah, so this kind of stuff is just incredible, right? Because I'm wondering what this is, though. Yeah, so basically, if you are looking to learn a lot about... oh, by the way, I'm not sponsored for any of this stuff, right? I'm just recommending this because I think it looks good. If you are looking to learn how to make a game from start to finish, right? And you already know some of the basic stuff that we talked about in previous videos and previous streams, then getting yourself a asset pack like this one, right? Even though obviously this might be a lot of money if you don't have any budget, right, for your learning, but getting an asset pack like this will help you so much in bringing things to life and feeling less like you need to wait with showing something because it doesn't look good enough yet, right? All of this looks very pretty, and so, you know, if you make yourself a game and you use these assets, then it would really help you in showcasing and getting feedback, right? Especially if you don't know how to do art, then this is just such a great starter pack. It has a very Mario-like feel to it, well, I should say Nintendo-esque feel to it. And just everything is there, whether you want to go 2D, 2.5D, or 3D, it's all there. And this could really help you practice level design as well. That's one of the great things about this as well, because you have all the building blocks. You don't need to worry about anything else, essentially. Which is just, yeah, it's just incredible. It's really, really cool. I'm gonna heart this. Yeah. So this is something really cool. Anyway, diving into the engine. We're gonna continue where we left off, which was, if we open up Asana real quick. There it is. If we open up Asana real quick, we see in this one. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we accidentally started creating save game functionality, which was not intended, but something we had to do because data tables are read-only. You can't adjust the data in there. Add functionality for adding a time to the level fastest section times array. You need to add a check to see if this is the first attempt the player is attempting this level section or if it's a subsequent attempt. Okay, I remember where we left off. I already do remember. Right, and here's the project. And for those of you that are joining new, allow me to give you a quick demonstration. So the project I'm working on is a time trial platformer, right? Something that is based on being able to remember what happens in each level section and doing it in the fastest way possible. And so obviously it starts rather easy. This is the very first level. But it gets progressively harder. First off, in teaching you the different mechanics and the different jump distances, and then ultimately putting your skills to the test, and then so on and so forth. You can, you can keep trying next levels. If I press next level, though, the engine's going to lag to shit, and I'll show you why. Actually, not as much as I thought it would be, but maybe because. No, it seems to be working. Huh, interesting. Okay. Maybe that was fixed in the latest release of the engine. I don't know. Okay, but yeah, so I haven't really dressed up this level yet, nor have I fixed some of the things that I still need to fix. But as you can see, levels get progressively more difficult to the point where even I just need to remember how certain levels go. And I'll show the next level as well. Because obviously we're going to go more difficult, more difficult, more difficult. I haven't even added the water mesh to this one yet. Oop. It shows you that certain blocks can also move left to right. Like that, for example. Oh god, Jesus. And I can see there's some bugginess going on. But that's probably because they spawn in at the wrong height. Ah, shit. And so the goal is essentially to remember every single time what the level consists of, and get the fastest possible time, right? That's kind of the idea. And I'm trying to remember from when I designed these levels what they were, but it seems to be going okay. And it tracks, how many times you died, it tracks how many jumps you've done. Whoa. Yeah, I think these are spawning in at a really high altitude. And then they get set to the right altitude, but that looks obviously... Oh, that obviously looks weird. So now I know what that section's going to do. There we go, and now I can anticipate on it, right? That's kind of the idea. And I'm hoping that by adding some environment art, that it's going to be easier for players to recognize which part of the level they're in. Which means they can better anticipate what is going on, right? That's kind of the idea. But most of these levels have had one level design pass, and so they're far from perfect. But hey, gotta start somewhere. Bollocks. I'm too good of a level designer. I fooled myself. I did it again. I fooled myself again. So I know. There we go. Yes, very good. Right, and then there's one more level, I believe, because it's level 4, I think. Yep, and this is level 5. Ooh. Oh. very cool. Oh, and then some don't move and some do move. I'm a bit of an asshole as a level designer. I'm a bit of an asshole. Oh, shit, hold on. I know what I'm doing. Right, and so the key is for people to keep doing it better and better and better, getting better and better times. And I'm also thinking of using the total time, per level, to determine whether you're good enough to go to the next stage, right? So that kind of becomes the gate, the skill gate that people get locked behind. That's kind of the idea. Right, there we go. And there's no levels after this. There's nothing after this, right? But anyway, so that's a quick recap of what this game is and what it's about. I don't have a name for it. I called it Project Papaya as a code name. But that's basically it for now. So that brings us to the UI. No, that brings us to the game mode, right? Because what we have to do after we figured out which level we're in, yeah. Yeah. The first thing we need to check after we found the right array entry, thanks Larissa, I appreciate that, is mostly done through a free art pack, but it's something I'm gonna replace all the assets with the ones I created myself, which are gonna look very, very similar because I think this looks incredible, but they're very unoptimized at the moment. So one of the things that is very unoptimized about it is that one of these models essentially has 4 textures attached to them, which means that when this model moves in the scene, it is essentially calculating the movement of 4 things. Now, if you have 3 of those things in your entire scene, it's okay. It won't really impact your performance all too much. But if you have hundreds of them in your scene, and so those hundreds turn into thousands because it's multiplied by 4, that is a problem, right? So I am working currently on remaking this in Blender, UVing it so that it only needs 1 texture, and then I'll re-import them. I'll keep the colors and everything the same, but I'll re-import it, and then it should only count as 1 texture and, you know, be much more performant. So, okay, so what we need to do, the first thing we need to do is check whether or not, well, yeah, it's about checking whether or not we're in the right level, right? If we can find a entry in the array that is equal to the level section that we're in, right? So I'm just going to quickly disconnect this at the moment because I need to move this functionality somewhere else. I truly do. Because if that is true, all I need to do at this moment, if I just move this away as well, all I need to do, yeah, we can keep this as well somewhere else. Let's move this up here. Let's move it a bit down. That's more or less straight. Okay, all we need to do after that is save the index at which we have found the level section, right, in the array. So what I want to do is I want to promote this to a variable, and I want to say, level times found array index. That is probably the best way I could describe that at the moment. Because now what we can do, instead of having to do this check every single time, we can just literally get the whatever index is stored in here from the array, which is much easier. Now, if that is true, let's slightly move this up. I want to sequence something because there's 2 things I need to do. Actually, do I need to sequence it first, or do I? No, I need to check. I I need to check if the current time, right, of the current attempt, if it's faster or slower than the time that's already stored at that index. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. Actually, is that the right one? No, it's not. I need to grab this one. I need to grab this. Let's move this and that a bit down. So here. I need to grab that. And then from this, I need to get something. I need to get a reference. Because I essentially need to check whether the index that is found, right? I need to check whether the value that is contained there, if it's 0 or not. Because if it is 0, it means it's the first time the player is attempting this level section. So I need to break it. And I then need to check if all of these equal to 0 at the same time, right? So it's not just enough to check whether they're 0 or not. They all have to adhere to being 0 at the same time. If one of them is not 0, this will return false. Oh, oops. Right, here we go. Let's make sure we comment this up straight away. So whilst we're doing it, you know, it's easier to comment things. Check if the found index of the level section fastest times array is equal to 0 or not. If it is the first time the player is attempting this level section. Right. And if it is, right, if we assume that it is, we need to save the current time to that spot of the level array, right? There we go. I don't know why I put this so far down, but a little bit up, like so. And then the whatever index it is, it's this one, right? Just like that. The only thing I'm wondering at the moment is because this does contain that, but those never get set, do they? No, they don't. Okay. Which is okay, because that only means that what I need to do is I need to slightly, well, I can sequence it. I can sequence it to make it look better. Right, so I can first do this. Sorry, I can do this as a last step. And then what I first need to do is make sure that this value, this variable, yes, gets set. Make. Right, there we go. Let's reroute this slightly to create a little more space. I might be better off putting this all into functions, but for now, quick and dirty, right? There we go. All right. What I need is, again, for us to get all of this, put it there. Oops. Oh no. Just grab this one and this one for the moment. And then literally plunk that in. Plunk that in. Okay. And then what I need to add in here is the level elapsed timer. Right, because that's the current time that the player has. Like so. Okay. So what's going to happen if this is the first time that the player is attempting a level section? They will the code will fire up to here, it'll first go into the 0 branch, where it'll make sure that the current elapsed time is added into this value here, into this variable. And then we're going to take that variable and we're going to add it into the array for whatever level section the player is currently in, right? So I'm just going to comment that up. And I'll show you in a second how we're going to test this, right, whether this is true or not. Let me just comment this up. Let's see. So this would be set the current elapsed time to the level section fastest time details variable, right? And then after the current elapsed time has been set, add it into the right position of the level section fastest times array. There we go. Awesome. Right. Okay. Now, however, if this comes back as not true, meaning that we have already attempted this level section and there is already a time saved there, what we need to do okay, I'm just thinking of something. We might have to add an extra piece of functionality here to make sure the game actually saves doing this, right? So that between startups, it still remains saved. And I'm just going to do that first, I reckon. Because after it is added into the right position, we need to reroute it. And we need to say, okay, actually I have the block of code here already. It's this one. Right, save game to slot. And I believe the rest of this should work automatically because we are setting this variable inside of our save game blueprint. Save the new fastest time to the save game slot. And because we're only saving one variable, this should have no impact on performance, I believe. But I might be completely wrong with that, depending on how this gets executed. Let's find out. We'll find out. Okay, right. Let's move this a bit up here. Actually, let's move it a bit up here so that we have a bit more space, I reckon. We'll skip this reroute point, and instead we'll just connect it up straight away. Yeah. A little over there. There we go. All right. Because if this now returns false, we need to check something. And that is something I am going to make a function for. Called compare level section times. Just because this code is going to get quite big, I reckon. Compare level section times. We're going to add an output, which is a Boolean. Saying faster, right? We're going to check if it's faster or not. If the answer is yes, then it's true, right? We're also going to add an input. Actually, do I need an input per se? I don't think I do. Unless I want to handle this straight away, which I could do. Let's do that. Let's do that. Current fastest time, which is a summer's finally in Finland, so I'm building IKEA patio furniture on the sidelines. Nice, solid. Yeah, it's also really warm here at the moment, which is nice. It's good to have the sun back out again. What kind of furniture are you? Oh, sorry, you said patio furniture. Yes, that's the kind of furniture you're building. Very good. Is it anything in particular, like a table or chairs, or maybe like one of those lounge chairs? I'm trying to think of all the IKEA patio furniture that's around. And this needs to be a structure, yes. Struct fastest time, which we can pass right through to there. Very nice. If I move this up slightly, would you look at that? Lines up nicely. All right, very cool. But yeah, there's definitely nothing more relaxing I can think of than sitting in the sun and building a bit of furniture. Table, a couple of chairs, and a bench. I have a huge balcony in this apartment, so it's going to be outdoor coding for me. Honestly, dude, that sounds amazing. That sounds really, really chill. And it's especially good if your apartment is positioned in such a way that the sun doesn't like shine straight onto your apartment, but instead like comes from an angle, because that means that your screen won't be opaqued as much as when the sun would shine straight on it. Oh man, that sounds ideal. That sounds really, really good. Definitely beats getting out of this warm room. That's for sure. Okay. Yes. So we have a few things here. And we need to do some manual comparisons because we need to check whether all of this in total is faster or slower than our current time, which means we need to do some conversions. Conversions into milliseconds for the most accurate result. So that means we need to turn minutes into seconds. So we can do times 60. Then it has to be, the result of that has to be added to this, like so, because then we have the total amount of seconds so far, and then whatever that result is, we need to do that times 100. Times 100, and we essentially need to add that on top of what we already have for milliseconds, right? That's kind of the idea here. Okay, well, if it doesn't look so pretty, that's okay. Now, we have to do the same thing for our current time, right? So we just grab it. We make sure to break it open so we can access all of the variables. And then we essentially do the exact same thing. Alright, so we can just copy paste that, makes it really easy. Like so. Yeah, because there are 100 milliseconds in 1 second. Yes, I've definitely done it right. Alright, awesome. Okay, because now we need to compare which one is bigger than the other. And to do that, we need to essentially check if our current time is smaller. Yes, is smaller than the time that's already there. But what if it's equal? If it's equal, it remains the same. It'll return false anyway, so that's okay. So yes, we need to check if A is smaller than B, and this is B, right? I could also do this the other way around to check if B is bigger than A, right? But I don't see much point in doing that. And then whatever comes out of this, right? Whether it's true or false. Well, specifically if it's true. If it's true, it means that our current attempt is faster than our previous attempt, and if it's false, then we are slower than our fastest attempt. So let me just slightly move this out a bit. Let's move this in a bit, like that, and then we can essentially. This is actually a bit more compact than I thought it was going to be. Maybe I didn't need a function for this, but it's okay. Check if our current elapsed time is faster than our fastest time, like that. Okay, now based on what comes out, if it's true, we're faster, right? So if it's true, we need to essentially do this again. Which means we can kind of just copy the whole code block. Actually, instead of copying it... Yeah, no, let's copy it. Let's keep it nice and clear. Let's not try and hook too many things in the same thing. Alright, let's put that up there. Then we can do this. Actually, we need to just copy the entire thing, to be honest. Here we go. Right, there we go. There's still some extra things we got to do afterwards, because we got to feed how much faster we are to the UI. But I'll do that in a moment, as I just need to update. Actually, no, I didn't need to update these comments at all, because these comments are perfectly right. It's perfectly good. Okay, then I might have actually... yeah, there's no point in having the exact same code twice. Let's make sure we hook this up this way then. Right, so if it's if we are faster than our fastest attempt, it is going to store that new time into the array, right? But then that is not the only thing it's going to do. Oh, this is actually where it comes in a little cheeky, actually. I'm gonna have to sequence it instead. So I'll first store the value, the variable, and then after that, I will make sure that I calculate how much faster we are. Unless I can do it all in the same function, actually. That might actually be much better, even. Yeah, if to my return node, I add how much faster we are, or how much slower. I could just call this time difference. Time difference. I can then add a float. And I can simply... let me just think. If I just open up... Not a calculator. That's not what I needed. I needed a notepad. Alright, if I just open up a notepad for a quick sec. And I just check how this would work. Because if I do my fastest time... If my fastest time... Let's say it's 100. Right, 100 milliseconds we're talking, so it's 1 second, right? And my current attempt is 90. I would subtract that, which would equal that 10 remains, right? That I'm 10 faster. So I would only have to append it with a minus symbol and the ms behind it to showcase that we're faster. Because if I'm slower, so if my fastest attempt is 90 and my current attempt is 100 milliseconds, then I know that I'm 10 ms slower, which means I don't need to append anything except for the ms part. Okay, yeah, that works then. Yeah, minus would be good because I can't do plus in this case because there's no minus values, so that'd be stupid. Okay, alright, then I'll just quickly do in here, I do my A minus my B. Here we go, and we just chuck that in there. Very cool. Okay, awesome. It's almost like art. Alright, so now that we have the time difference figured out, we just need to send it to the UI. That is the only thing left to do. And if I just double check how I did that again. Let's check in the UI how I did that again. I think it's get text 9, isn't it? Oh yes, it is. Oh, right. Oh, right. I remember this. Yeah, I need to select. Because obviously my UI doesn't know whether I'm faster or not. Yeah, I can do a select here. With the index being Boolean. I found a slight issue. Hold on. Actually, no, yeah, I can do it this way. Okay, alright. I can do a select. That should be fine. Okay, because if we are... if it's our first time doing this, this level section, then we just need to show that by adding a Boolean called first attempt or something. First attempt. And I need to set that to true if, and also actually by default it'll be true as well. There we go. And if it's false, then I need to this slightly, then I need to set this to false. So because it's default true, I don't think I need to... No, I do need to set it for the next cases, yeah. Okay. Okay, awesome. So we have that figured out, so that means that inside of our UI, we can simply grab from our game mode, and we can say, okay, get first attempt, get the Boolean. Let's do it like this. Let's pull this out a bit. All right. But if it is true, sorry, wait, no. When first attempt is true, it's that. Okay, so if first attempt is false, then we need to hook in something else. Yeah. Yes. Yes, okay. Then we need to, from our main game mode, before I do this sequence, let's set something up. Actually, no, wait, this is, sorry, this is minus 10. And this is 10. I just realized that. Yeah, because 100 minus a 90 is 10 milliseconds left over. So that means that I just need to add the minus symbol through appending it rather than having it naturally there. Okay. Yeah, okay. Then I know what to do. All I need to do here is if we are faster, I need to take our time difference. I need to turn it into a string, to string. And I need to append it with this actually being the second thing that we do. First thing being a minus, and then the last thing being ms. Which would mean that I can either promote this to a variable, which I should do. Yep. Faster time, like that. And if it's false, I need to do the exact same thing. But then instead of a minus, this becomes a plus. Like that. And I need to promote it to a variable called slower time. Slower time. Like so. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're actually getting very close here. We're getting very close to solving this. Or finishing this piece of functionality. It won't work in one try. Nothing ever does. But if it does, then awesome. Because if this is false, then we simply need to... I need to check for slower or faster. So I do need to save that as a variable. I do need to save whatever comes out of here as a variable. Promote to variable. Called faster. Question mark. Like so. And I can actually just pull this right from here. Skip this reroute node and just do that. There we go. Okay. All right. Then, okay, we've got that all figured out. I just need to, or actually I already set faster there, so that should be okay. So I can hook up inside of our UI. I can add an extra select, right? Yeah, it's a little annoying that all of this comes up here now, but I can just move stuff. Like that, for example. And move this back up here. Oops. Like that. There we go. Awesome. Okay, and then this also becomes a boolean, and from there we also grab faster. Like so. Let's make it a wacky looking top hat structure. It's okay this way. Actually, it'd be even better if I do it like this. Becomes a hamburger. Okay. All right. And then based on whatever comes out, based on if it's faster or not, we pull out faster time. If it's true, then we need this. Like so. If it is slower, we need slower time. Okay, that's actually also a lot smaller than I expected it to be honest. I was expecting this code to be more complicated. Okay, so we have all of that. Now the only thing left to do here is to save our new time if we are faster. Yeah. And then we need to test it. Okay, alright. Check if we are faster than our fastest time. There we go, added that comment. Append our faster or slower time. And then it goes through here. Everything gets added properly and it gets saved to the slot. Okay. Now, I might be better off, instead of playing it directly in editor, because I know sometimes that goes wrong in terms of save games, I might be better off, in here, to simulate a standalone game. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this actually works or not. Everything sounds logical, but is it? Alright. Right, so we've got a time, right? 4:93. We confirm that time. And I actually think that is already where we go wrong. Because if I now close the game down, like that, and I reopen it again, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to go wrong. I have no idea. Let's find out. Because it was like something like 4:93 just now. Something like that. Oh, I actually think I haven't hooked it up properly, but 7:10. Yeah. Okay, so something is definitely going wrong. Okay. Did it create a save game? I don't think it would have. Where would I even see that in this case? Because we're only simulating a standalone game. It's not an actual standalone game. Probably in projects, or like actually my physical projects. Memory platformer. I'm in the wrong folder. No, this is inside of the engine. Where have I got the project actually saved? That might be a much better question. It's on my C drive, not on my F drive. That'll be the issue. Unreal Engine test projects. That's apparently not where it is. Hey, Bozomoto. I no longer work for Sumo. That's been a while. But I used to be based in Sheffield. That's where I used to be based. Hey, Arcus, how you doing? Hope you're both doing great. I'm just trying to find my save game that I just created. Let's have a look, see. Oh, it's inside of my documents folder. What the hell? Why is it inside of my documents folder? It's not isometric, but it is indeed a 3D platformer. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think this is isometric. I sometimes get confused with the terms. It is, well, it's more a bird's eye view, I guess. But yeah, I am making a 3D platformer. Cool, interview with them a while back, wound up at TT instead. No longer there. Ah, gotcha. Okay, alright. You're gonna have to help me in my memory, though. What do you mean with TT? Because I don't have a studio name in the top off the top of my head that fits those initials. Not that I know of TT Games. Oh, Lego. Oh, nice. Oh, I mean, that sounds really cool, though. That sounds like a really dope job, to be honest. I'm not sure if this is isometric. Let's find out, shall we? Let's find out. Isometric. No, it's not isometric in that case, because, yeah, no, it's definitely not isometric. Okay, cool. Yeah, but did you interview in Sheffield as well, or did you interview somewhere else? For like a different location, I mean. There's a good chance I know the person you interview with. If it's Sheffield. If it's not Sheffield, then I wouldn't have a clue. Alright, so documents, Unreal projects, my project. Is that what I've called it? My project? Saved. Hold on, I'm going to have to open up the launcher again because I need to just look at this properly. Nope. Documents, Unreal projects, memory platformer. It doesn't seem like that's where it's saved. It's a long time ago, I interviewed with Sheffield. More recently, to Warrington wasn't a good fit. Can't remember who I interviewed with. Right, fair enough. Yeah, I heard about... So when I was there, I think it was 2 years ago by now. That's when I stopped. I think Warrington was just created. Because it was... what's his face? I don't actually remember the guy's name, but I'm pretty sure Warrington was just created at that point. I've never heard anything of TT, to be honest. I don't know anyone who works there either, so I have no idea, to be honest. Why, for the love of God, can I not find this save game? That is very annoying. Is in here. Users. This one. Where is my... Oh, there's 2 documents folders. Amazing. Very good. I left relatively early, 2.5 years on Skyward. Can't really say much about it though. NDA and content. Yeah, of course. I've met someone that worked for that company. He said it's not doing so well, which makes sense because it seems like the logos were much bigger years ago. They really were. They really were. And, of course, it remains to be seen. Here we go. I finally found it. For some reason, I've got 2 folders or 2 sections named documents. Amazing. Thanks, Windows 11. Right now, instead of my saved, I should be able to find... It's not under autosaves. Oh, no, it is. Oh, yeah. Game. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. I need to remember where this is again. Build. Windows. Nope, that's file open order. Hey, Keep Positive Gamer, how you doing? What am I doing at the moment? I am working on this game at the moment. And we are currently implementing a UI feature that will allow us to check whether or not our attempted time of a section in a level, I'll show you when the section ends in a moment, if it's faster than our previous attempt, essentially. Or not even our previous attempt, it's the fastest attempt, right? And so it becomes this thing of saving our fastest attempts, checking it against them, and then, you know, trying to see what's faster and what's not. That's what we're doing right now. We're just finishing that up. I'm just trying to test some things now. And then after that, we're going to hop into either some level design or some concept design. The concept design part will be of something completely different, so it won't be of this game. And the level design will be for some more levels. We're trying to adjust some levels that we already have here. Let's see, Arcus, you said he wanted to leave because they were apparently laying off people and he didn't think it was a stable job anymore. Yeah, that's fair. You know, it's always one of those things where you have to make the consideration of, okay, will I still want to have this job, or will I still have this job in a year from now? And of course, there's no way you can say for sure, but there are signs, right? You could even say that there are telltale signs, which is a great example of one of those cases. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know any of the TT games, but if I hear it like this, then wouldn't surprise me if they are to get acquired to just become a codev studio, or if they disappear from the public eye essentially within the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Traveler still tilted to the point and click games. Yeah, every time. I mean, it really sucked though when that news came out. I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago by now, maybe even more. Um, Telltale's back, but some company that got the rights to the name just renamed themselves to Telltale. Nice. That is Stealth 100 right there. Doing it like that. Yeah, no, it was a real shame when that news came out because there was obviously a lot of developers who were all of a sudden without a job because of really shitty upper management. Um, but I believe a lot of people, well, I hope everyone, but a lot of people found a new job at some point. They got offered jobs by other companies that were like, oh, let's make sure these people don't go without a paycheck, right? They made 7 days to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they did. I've got no idea, to be honest. I'm just going to Google this now because I'm taking way too long. UE4, where is the save game saved? Save games folder. What? That makes complete sense. It's just not there for me. So what I might have to do, in my case, what I might have to do is to test my functionality. Yeah, to test my functionality, I'll quickly have to add a quick cheat into my controller, which we can do just on a button press. Let's make it the button press 9. Right? Yep. And let's say open level, and then I just got to grab the right level name, which is in here. Levels, world 1, this one. Right. Cool. There we go. Awesome. Okay, because now I can test the actual saving functionality, right? That's kind of the idea. All right, so we're going to set our first time in a moment, which is going to show up as, yay, this is our first time, so there you go. We're going to confirm that time, right? So now it's saved in our system. I believe it is anyway. Now we're going to press 9, which is going to open up the level again for us without shutting down the editor. And then when we attempt it again and we are particularly slower than our first time, it does not work. It does not show us that we're slower. Can we first check whether or not this actually happens? Because I feel like I might just be missing some inputs. Let's check if we actually save any data at all. That might be the better thing to do. Looks like we're not. Huh. Why does this return false? What does this say in here? Oh, I know what happened here. I think I called this main save game, I think. Let's see, just Googled it. Telltale Games did publish 7 days time. Alright, cool. Here we go. LCG Entertainment renamed themselves to Telltale Games. They have their original company name for the rights on the Telltale website. I also meant Telltale, I got it wrong around. Right, gotcha. I got the game from the Xbox Game Pass thing. Apparently it's lacking all the updates that are on PC, but Telltale said they will update it once PC is done, which is good. That is a good thing. I am wondering why they can't do it in sequence, though. Or in parallel. That sounds like something that could totally be achieved. Maybe they don't have the capacity for it. That could very well be the case, that they don't have the right capacity for it. Who knows? That might be the case. Right, so main save game is what we've called this. Then inside of our game mode. Yeah, let's check again if this actually works or not. I have no idea. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Oh, bollocks, of course. Of course, I understand. I understand now. So, we already revealed a time when we reached the flag. However, we don't save anything until we hit the check mark. So that means on every subsequent attempt, it has nothing to compare to, because we haven't saved our newest value yet. Like this whole piece of code, all of this does not trigger until we hit the check mark, which is too late. That is way too late. We need that to trigger when we reach the flag. That is when we need that to trigger. The only problem with that is that we can't know which level section we're in unless we execute this whole block of code. Right, okay. Yeah, 5 years, 5+ years of updates have been missing, so the console version is still the alpha version. Yeah, I suppose a lot of their current workload goes into bug fixing and optimizing. That'd be my guess, right? Because it's one thing making something optimized for PC. It's a whole nother thing if you want to do it for Xbox One, Xbox One X, the Series S, PS4, PS5, etc., right? So, yeah, that is of course a much larger fish to fry. All right, let's have a look. See. So how can I make sure that we do all this stuff? It's barely optimized for PC. Yeah, that's always funny, isn't it? Just really quick and dirty. I know this is a cardinal sin, but just really quick and dirty to see if this works. I have no idea if this works, but I just want to quickly check it. Oh, now it fucks up the entire thing. Reopen the level again. Yeah, no, this is gonna mess up the entire flow, isn't it? And it makes sense because I did mess up the entire flow just now. So that makes complete sense that doesn't work. Yeah, because that resets the timer already. Well, if we put the reset timer in a different place, then this would be fine, and there's nothing wrong with doing what I'm doing. Well, except for blueprint-wise, obviously, that is a problem. But what did you choose UE5 for this, by the way? So there was initially no real reason why I would pick Unreal Engine 5 over Unreal Engine 4. Right, I am using Nanite, but you know, with the I don't know, with the 60 polygons this might have, it doesn't matter, right? But for me, the main reason right now is just getting used to the new workflow, and making sure that that it stays that way. That I just pick up everything that comes new, especially around surrounding lighting and stuff. I want to stay up to date. That's my main reason. If you're asking why Unreal over something like Unity or Godot or anything, no real reason other than, is there anything different for the programmer side on UE5? Yeah, you can do it in normal C++ if you want. Oh, Lonely Fades, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing really well. You can use just regular C++ in Visual Studio or something. You could totally do that. But yeah, I don't use Unity or Godot mainly, or GameMaker, because I've been using Unreal for 6 years now, nearly 6.5. So this is just what I got taught, and so this is what I'm using, right? That's kind of the idea. I am getting a call from someone. I'm not going to pick that up. I should pick that up. Hold on. Be right back, guys. Sorry about this. Right, guys, craziest story, right? Just to fill you in on what that phone call was about. Absolutely insane story. It was my hairdresser to let me know my appointment was moved by 30 minutes. Awesome. Thanks, hairdresser. Really appreciate it. All right, let's see. Are you a level designer / technical artist? No, I am a producer by heart. That's the thing I graduated in anyway. And I really love doing that. I really do. But I also got taught design for 2.5, 3 years in university. And so I've basically become designer-ish something. But producer is my main focus. And so programming I'm learning on the side. And I've even picked up Blender now in recent weeks, but I'm nowhere near ready to show that off yet. I'm gonna show that off in the coming weeks when I get a bit better at that, because I've only done like 3 hours of learning so far in Blender. So I wanna add a little bit more before I get ready to show that. So I suppose, well, my main focuses within design are absolutely 100% game design, UI design, and level design. I like to do those things the most. And then, well, within production, there's no real different job there. I'm a producer for a AAA company at the moment. So, let's see. Since I don't develop games, I do have a question you might be able to answer. So about Xbox Game Pass, does it have a massive entrance fee, or do they ask if you want to be on it? And how is it profitable for developers making the games? Okay. And also Lonely Fades asks, do you want to make an open world game one day? Good question. I'll come back to that in just a moment because that has a bit of a long answer. So Keep Positive Gamer. From what I know, I personally have not been in contact with Xbox for my own games. Right? I have done it for AAA projects that I've been on. From what I know, to break down your question, it does not have a massive entrance fee. Generally speaking, Xbox will ask you, "Hey, do you want to be on Game Pass?" Now, the reason or how it's profitable for developers, it works differently, right? So normally you'd ask $20 for your game, and people would pay that and they play your game, right? If they don't refund it. From that amount, let's say it's $1,000 a month. From that amount, Xbox will subtract a percentage. I have no idea what that percentage is. I'm going to guesstimate somewhere between 10 and 30, but they will subtract a amount from that. And so you'd end up with just a raw number, and like taxes go off and whatever, and that's just the number that you earn, right? If only, Arcus. If only that was the joy we were in. So for Game Pass, it works a little bit differently. For Game Pass, you have to imagine if, just to keep the numbers simple, obviously these numbers are way higher, but just to keep the numbers simple for myself, if there's 1,000 people that have subscribed to Game Pass, right? And there's 5 games on the Game Pass, right? Among which is yours. If 100 people, right? If they play your game, exclusively only your game through Game Pass, it means that 10% of the players have played your game on Game Pass, right? That means, equally speaking, that 10% of the total amount of money that Xbox is getting from their Game Pass subscriptions is going your way, minus a cut that Xbox will still take. And so at that point, it becomes a goal of, okay, the more people play my game through something like Game Pass, which those numbers are a lot higher because the entrance, the bar of entrance is much lower because you don't have to pay as much for the game, right? The more people play my game, the higher of a percentage I will get from Xbox. So if your game is particularly visually good looking or has a really good reputation, then generally speaking, the total amount of money that you get from Game Pass is going to be higher than people just individually buying your game. Because there's also plenty of people that subscribe to Game Pass who don't even know about your game, who are just there to play a different game, but their money is still added to the total amount, right? And so if all of the other 4 games only get played once and yours get played 10 times, then your cut will be so much larger, even though 900 people did not subscribe to Game Pass for your game specifically. So, I hope that's a bit of a clear answer for you. If it's not, feel free to let me know. Lonely Fades, you said you want to make an open world game one day. I'm a bit conflicted on that, because open world on its own does not sustain for me the reason to make a game. Open world is an aspect of level design and should never really be seen as its own genre or as its own subgenre. Oh, at the most, it could be a subgenre, but really not more than that, in my opinion. And so would I ever want to make one alone? No, because the scope is so incredibly huge, making an open world game, that I know that it would take me years upon years upon years if I ever get it done. And that to remain consistent in my design throughout that process and throughout making the entire game would just be so incredibly hard. Like, oh man, yeah, I don't think I would find it fun, right? So that's it for me. That's the main reason for me. Yeah, and I also think that most indie devs should steer clear from open world, because open world is a concept which should really mean, if we look at things like Breath of the Wild, or, well, more recently, Elden Ring, it should mean that you can go anywhere you really want, and that you can still play the game, right? But in the context of many indie devs trying to make an open world game, what it really means is just that they put no boundaries on their levels. There's very little level design present, and there's very little environment design or environment composition present. And so that becomes a problem, because then the player experience becomes very unguided, and basically people can kind of go anywhere, but they'll go into directions that you never thought of, because it's just you, or just you and a friend, or 3 friends, or whatever. And so they won't really have that great of an experience, right? So that'd be something where I'm like, okay, you know, that might be really hard. Let's have a look. Open world takes time, and it is quite ambitious most of the time, especially if you want to fill that world with enough interesting content. Yeah, definitely agree, Arcus. Yeah, so Bozomoto, what you mean, well, what I think you mean, I'm making an assumption here. What I think you mean is stuff like, for example, the maybe Uncharted is at the end of that era, but Uncharted was definitely part of that same group where, you know, making things look nice and bloomy and browny, you know, would make it look better. I'm sure there was a performance reason for it as well. I'm sure there was definitely one of those reasons for that as well. But yeah, you know. Linear worlds can tell a story just as well as an open world, and sometimes without running through an empty forest for half an hour. Yes, agreed. I personally believe that if you have a story to tell inside of your game, and there are some exceptions, but if you have a story to tell inside of your game, please do it through a linear world first. Don't make the open world your very first thing, because there's a very good chance that people will miss certain story beats, which makes the story make no more sense. And so, you know, you kind of lose that entire aspect, right? So that'd be a shame. Do you think you would use a light mechanic in your game, like throwing light orbs to see the map ahead better, or something to add complexity or challenge in the future, for the one you're making now, by the way? Could do. There are a few things. If I just pull that up real quick. Hold on, let me put it up on this side. There's a few mechanics I've already thought out, which I'll share with you guys in a moment. Where is it? Design, and then inside of my level design, World 1 level design matrix. So let's go through this, shall we? It's a few things. So there's the moving platforms from left to right and up and down. There's the phase platform, which will just phase in and out. There's the electricity platform, which will, you know, electrify you if you jump in it on the wrong time. There's ice platform, which reduces your friction. There's a sticky platform, which increases your friction. There's a melting platform, which means that over time, as soon as the level loads, and as soon as you get to start, all of the platforms in the entire level start melting down, slowly but surely, which means that as soon as you get to the end of the level, you're walking on like really thin blocks, essentially, or really thin platforms, which I think could be interesting. Then there's ghost platforms, which seem to be there, but are actually not there, or actually in one of the other positions. Then there's spikes that reveal. There's cannons that'll throw stuff. Wall running, I did add it here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to add it. There's a combine harvester, which comes rolling from right to left or left to right, and you have to kind of jump over it. There's a wind gust machine, which mid-jump will push you off into a different direction, so you have to kind of like account for it. There's a water gun, which will do something similar. And then there's swinging, spiky vines, and banana peel. So there's a few different, mechanics I'm thinking of. But I'm going to add your light mechanic in here as well. Oops, let me just make sure this is not gray. Light mechanic. And I'm just going to give this J. And then what I also want it to do... Actually, I'll do that at a later time. Because we got to finish up the UI element real quick. As soon as we finish up the UI element, we'll head into some level design. Because that might be a bit more hands-on. Okay, so... this should all work now is what I said. And I have not tested it yet. Because now what it should do, it should save our time as soon as we hit this. Right, so we have 5 seconds and 9 milliseconds, right? We're going to confirm it. Great. Which might have actually done a double now, I realize. Whoa. Okay, this might have fucked it up, but I'm not sure. Right, and then we're going to reload the level, which means it should still be saved because I didn't exit the editor. Okay, it does not. Does it create the right folder, though? Instead of my save. There is now a save games folder. Haha! So it has saved. It's, of course, encrypted. Because, of course, it would be. Because else you could edit your save games folder. God damn it. Oh, man. Okay, so it did save. Because there is now a save game, right? That was just created. The only problem is we never reset the timer. So let's just add that all the way at the end here. Trying to think of what the ending end is. Probably this one. And this one. Oops. And that one. There we go. Now we have all the functionality still complete, more or less. It's just in a bit of a messed up order. I have ADHD, so my mind runs a mile a minute with ideas. So what's the jelly bean placeholder for? Yeah, so totally fine. Don't worry about it. Just keep asking questions. I'll get to them just one by one, right? So don't worry about it. Don't have to apologize for it. Jelly bean or warped egg. I like both. So currently, it is a placeholder for the main character, right? Because I am not a good artist. Like I mentioned, I've only... oh, bollocks. No. Shit. I've only picked up Blender a few weeks ago. And so everything you see here is pre-made assets that I... well, most of it I actually got for free on Reddit, on r/game assets. And some of it I bought it from a store, right? So now I have to press 9. We still have got the save game because I can see it update here on the right. Which means it did save our value, but it doesn't show it. Why not? Why don't you work? We can take this away because we know this is true. Why do you always seem to say that it's the first attempt? Oh yeah, Blender's totally for game development. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I'll first come back to your guys' question before I keep doing this. So I'm not an artist, but I did get a concept made by a very talented concept artist. And so these were some of like the exploratory sketches of what the main character could be. Yeah, Blender definitely has a good animating tool as well. Yeah, or animating suite even. So these were some of like the exploratory sketches. Then we did some more renditions. I think we added some details and things, if I remember correctly. It's a very cute character, and then we did some more renditions. I say the concept artist freelancer did this, and if it will load for me, please. There we go. So there's quite a few things to show here, really. And it's a bit hard to navigate this. And so, you know, he's got nice shoes. He had like a vitamin C pill, because obviously he's like an orange, right? So vitamin C works. This could be his half health state, right? So he's kind of like, he's got his head sliced off, which is a little more gruesome now that I'm saying it. But kids won't notice that. Adults will. As long as I keep it nice and cutesy, it's fine. And this is him with like a headscarf on, kind of like a thing. And this is a colored version. So, you know, once I get good enough with Blender, I'm going to attempt to make this and put it in the engine, essentially. And so, yeah, that's my current approach. So that's what the orange character is currently for. Why is it an orange? No idea. It just is. I'm a big fan of not everything having to make sense. Not always, anyway. Especially for smaller games. I don't think it's always necessary. But for us to do that, we need to figure this out. I need big brain energy at the moment. So we check whether the array that we found is true or not. So let's make sure that we check what comes out of this. So let's add a print string. Let's plug in our Boolean. Let's check what comes out of that, if it's true or false. There's also a dashing mechanic, but I have no levels for it yet that make use of it. So this now says true, right? So it is our first attempt, and we know that it is. So excellent, right? Now if I press 9 to restart the level, which does not restart the save game, right? The save game remains the same. It's persistent across all levels. It's even persistent across sessions even. Sorry, I need to say that properly. Now this should return false, right? That's what it should return. And it does. Okay. All right. So that means we know that it's, we know that it's not going wrong here. We know that this piece works. So if it returns false, it says this to false, which means it's going to check whether we're faster or not. Yeah, whether it's faster or not. I did just think of something. But it's not entirely for right now. Add a load game state. We need to add that at some point. Yeah, I can definitely breakpoint it. But what I like to do is I like to get the information, right? Because I know that most of the time it'll hit something, but I like to get instantly the information as well of what it's returning, right? So now I need to check whether it is faster. And if it is, well, not even if it is, I just need to check by how much. I just want to see the number. I want to make sure that the calculation's done right. Okay, so again, oh no, oopsie, there we go. We step through it by achieving another time. Nice and fast time, 4:59, okay? Oh. Oh, right, because it's the first time. Sorry. Okay, yes. So this works. This is good. This is fine. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I'll also do that next time. Absolutely. That is a good point. I never knew that. All right. Which now means it says -30 and false. But it only says that as soon as we go through the checkpoint. So that's our problem. It only executes this code once we go through the checkpoint. Sorry, once we go through the check mark, not when we go through the flag, even though it should. Because this triggers fastest time functionality, which is here. Oh, hey, Key Positive Gamer, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. That's really nice of you. Thank you. So this does get activated. We know that all of this works. Hey, Bosamoto, thank you very much for the follow. Really appreciate it. So we know that it steps through all of this perfectly fine. And then I know that it checks this. Okay, hold on. Okay, what we need to do, right? Well, we have to move this back into its original place. Let's restore some of these things. Then we need to also stop connecting this. And what we instead need to do is we need to what does this use? This checks whether or not we finished the level section by checking if there's a time for it. That is really strange, though. I'm trying to remember why I made this logic. Oh, I know why. I know why I've made this logic. It's for the UI element that's here on the right. That's why. Okay. All right. Okay. I know why I'm making it. Okay. Cool. But essentially what I need to do is, yeah, okay, here, look. All I need to do, I think, is add it a step earlier. Actually, no, because then if I retry the level... Oh, well, okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Okay, hold on. I'll explain in a moment, because I am on a big brain move, I think. Newly added time. I know that's an ugly variable name, but I just need to check if this is the case or not. Let's move these ones a bit down, because they're a bit in the way at the moment. Like that. Then custom event, remove last set time, like that. Then take the newly added time, take the level array, say clear. Oh no, that clears the entire array. I need to get a copy, actually, not a reference. Get a copy of this index. Like so. And then I need to essentially also reroute it and set array element with the same index. Oh, actually, what I can do is I can instead, yeah, it's fine either way. I don't think it matters too much how I do this. Yeah, actually, I really don't need to do this part. I can literally just do it this way. I can just leave this empty to make it empty. Because I only need to clear it, but I need to clear a specific index, right? So that's why I'm doing it with the set array element. Here we go. Now, if I call inside of... I'm making a few steps here, but I'll explain everything in a moment, I promise. If I go in here... redo level section. I need to instantly, I need to make sure that out of this we pull remove last set time. Yeah. And then instead of confirming it through here, I can basically remove this custom event as a whole and just well, stick this entire section here, including you, behind our original code. So instead of going 2 steps of, okay, we've reached a flag and there is a time, and then we confirm it, we just confirm it in the background already. And then if the player decides to just retry that section anyway, then we remove the last time that we've, the last index that we've set, right? So I'm just wondering how many times this is going to get fired. It should only be once, but I'm just checking it anyway. All right. Okay. Now this should work. I say for like, what, the 6th time now? Oh, that breaks it. Well, that breaks it in the UI. It doesn't break it as a whole. We've saved it. There's a good chance that this will still be broken inside of the UI, but... Oh, it works! Oh! It works! Holy shit! Oh my god, it actually works. Well, sorta. Half. The latter part works. The first part does not. Jesus. The ecstasy from... yeah, the celebration when something works. I know. Holy shit. Oh, okay. Alright. But it says plus minus at the moment. It should not say plus, or... Well, it should say minus if we're faster. Are we 36 milliseconds slower or faster? Hold on, let's try that again. Hold on. Can't believe that actually fucking worked. Holy shit. Who would have thought? I thought I was massively breaking my code just now, but... Okay, so the first time it says 0, no worries, all fine. We just need to do that, then we need to press 9. So that restarts our level. And then... Oh shit, I still didn't look if we were faster or slower. Hold on. Okay. We're gonna save... We're gonna remember how much faster we are. So, okay, so 499 is our first time, okay? So can we do it faster? I know I can because I have a cheat sheet. 462. Woo! Hey man, I'm not a QA tester, okay? I'm sorry. Alright. Okay, so when we're faster, it works properly. So if we're fast, because it's 462 now. Our first time was 499. So is that 37? Is that the difference of 37? Yes, it is. Okay, so the math checks out as well. So that just means... because we are artificially adding this minus. Because we are faster. Right? The math would just show that we're 37 milliseconds faster. But we have to add a minus to it to indicate, okay, this is how much faster you are, right? Instead of just saying 37 milliseconds. Amazing. Okay, cool. So that means that when we're slower, that is when it goes wrong, right? And I just need to do one more thing. I need to turn these into integers instead of floats, because that will remove the 0.0, which would be appreciated. So, okay, and I need to fix it the first time round, right? So let's start with that real quick. We can remove this print string. Let's check in the UI why it adds nothing. Oh, because it uses level elapsed timer. And that gets reset to nothing. at the end of our code. So we need to use a different value for this. And I think the value the variable that we can use for that, I believe, is here. Yeah, level section fastest time details. Yeah, that is the right one, I think. Actually, no, because when we're slower. Well, okay, what I could also do, right, instead of resetting my time here, I could reset my time all the way at the end of the flow, right? That could totally be the case. So at the end of the flow, that would mean this one would have to go there and this one, because there's two different ways to exit the flow. Okay, now that should mean, if we just play from here for a sec. Oh, shit, hold on. Right. Oh no, that still does not work. What goes wrong? Huh. That means I also need to remove this back again, because that means that this is not the cause of the issue. Strange. Subtract the should also right. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Hold on. Right, so you just need an ABS on the delta. Absolute value. Remove sign might be a remove sign function also. I'll check that in a second. Subtract the previous record from the new time and you get the signs the right way. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that in a second as well. I'm just quickly trying to figure out why we aren't seeing the initial time. Right, because this is all going right. But then it's trying to see if first attempt is true or false. And it's default true. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I still definitely appreciate all the help, guys. I really, really appreciate it. This is also not really the best way to do it. But if I just print string quickly the outcome here at all times, so that I can quickly see when it switches to 0. So right now, okay, it's counting up. That's good. And then as soon as I hit the flag, it turns it to 0. As soon as I do that. And the only thing that has anything to do with that, right, that happens when I hit the flag, that could potentially set it to 0, right, because we're talking about level timer elapsed time. Yeah. Okay, so it's about when we clear the time, right, the timer. Can it be my job to poke you with a big stick when you're about to fall asleep looking at code all day? Yeah, sure, yeah. That sounds really solid, to be honest. That sounds like something I could really use. Definitely, that sounds really solid. I'll promote you to professional poker. Sure, that works. Okay, so I know when we can set this up. When we can execute this, right? It shouldn't be anywhere in our flow. Instead, what we'll do is we'll add, here we go. We'll add a custom event called reset timer on confirm level time, right? Something like that. We hook that up, easy as piss. And then we go back into here, and in here we grab our our game instance, which we grab our game mode from which we say reset timer on confirm level time. Right? Just like that. There we go. Awesome. Because now this will reset at the right time. Imagine if that happened in an indie studio. The artists will have big sticks and keep open the programs to wake them up. Yeah. At our studio, we rely on the endless suffering that programming brings to stay awake. Also caffeine. Yeah. I do want to get into programming as well soon. I'm working on my portfolio for now. Alright, awesome. Yeah, I can definitely recommend getting into programming. Well, for me, it was super hard to get into. I hated every bit of it at the start. Because I just didn't understand the thinking behind it, right? I didn't understand the whole object-oriented programming concept and everything like that. And so that was really hard. But if I may give a recommendation, if you are looking at Unreal Engine, if I go into YouTube real quick, I cannot recommend this channel enough. And not specifically just this channel, because I don't think he's very active anymore, but specifically in the playlists, there is the Let's Create playlist. Oh, I don't want to advertise for H&M. Yeah, Matthew Pillai is absolutely just a legend in teaching blueprints in Unreal Engine, in my opinion, right? It was his tutorial series that allowed me to actually learn how to do programming. And then the rest after that, right after I followed the entire tutorial series, it is just practice. But you know that from art as well. Art is also a lot. It's not just, but it's a lot of practicing, right? So, yeah, that'd be my recommendation. Oh, nice. Good job on learning Japanese. It's something I could never do. I'm terrible with languages. It's not entirely true, because I speak two, but learning, well, no, I am terrible with languages. It's just I had the benefit of growing up with two languages. So I'm kind of just half good at both languages, right? So my English is, it's okay. And my Dutch is, it's okay. So, you know, that's my benefit. But I definitely, I would not be able to learn another language, no way. Maybe if I put a lot of time into it, but doubt. Okay, so when we confirm our level time, that is when we reset the timer. So that should mean that now when we go through our flag, it shows something again. Very nice. But it also added something into section 2. You see that on the right hand side? Now it added our time into 2 sections instead of 1. Why? Why did it do that? Because if I now reset... Oh, bollocks. Now it starts counting section 2. What? Now it just fucks up everything. What the hell? Oh, of course. Oh, I know why. I know why. I figured it out. Yep. I know why. Because I need to not only do this when I do the confirm level section, I also need to activate it once I retry the level section. Because in both cases, the timer needs to be reset. I think. Okay, so it's just counting the first. Oh no, that still adds it to the second slot as well. Yep, and it still starts counting. Shit. How many times does this get triggered? I thought we confirmed that it's only triggers once. Man, isn't bug fixing a joy? Yeah, my code is definitely trolling me. Yeah, it only triggers once, so why is it adding it in 2 slots? Oh, I know why. This is to do with a really old part of my code. Namely, it is to do with this behemoth. So essentially, this checks whether section 1 is finished or not. If it is going to allow the game to grab the current time and just add it and just start displaying it, right? And that is because I set the variable of whether something is finished or not here already. Normally I would only do that when I went through the checkmark model. So essentially I'm doing this a bit too soon. Or at least the setting of it I'm doing too soon. The check in essence is fine. Yeah, because this essentially checks whether or not our very first slot inside our level times array, which is this guy, has something in it or not, is equal to 0 or not. And if it's not, if it's false, then it'll say, okay, it has a time in there. What do you think of your Android dev's code, if you've seen it? It's funny, he believes that most of us realize on the art side and not the programmer side too. Oh, that is a shit take to begin with. There is so many optimizations to be done on the code side. Sure, there's a lot of easy wins on, well, not necessarily easy, but there's a lot of wins on the art side as well. Definitely true. There is a lot of optimizations to be done on the art side, but there is also a lot of optimization to be done on the code side. 100%. And one of those optimizations is this shitty piece of code that I wrote months ago. Why am I telling this to only do this once? I have no idea, because I didn't comment it. If only I would have commented my goddamn code. What does this do? Oh, it plays an animation. Oh, okay. That's not relevant then. Okay. The animation is fine. The animation's in the right place. Oops. Back in here. The animation stuff plus this is fine. There is nothing wrong going with that. That is okay. It is this section I need to refactor. And how do I do that? Well, okay, I figured out what I can do here. Yeah, because this is not necessarily wrong. It is right. It's just happening too soon. And I thought that without it, I couldn't really do anything. Oops. I couldn't really, I couldn't complete what I'm trying to do, which is not true. Oops. Hold on. I can, in fact, pull this out like that. Snip it right out there. And instead say, I could make a variable called current level section. I could make that an integer. Well, I should make that an integer. The default value of that is 1, because that's always where you start. Right? You'll always start at the first level section. Based on that, let's make sure though that in case something goes wrong, that at the start... actually, no, we can't do that. Sorry. Never mind. We need to get the current level section. We need to switch on int. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't use 0, but you can't remove it. Let's move this in a bit. Basically like this. Let's pull this in. Okay. Then we attach 1 to the top, 2 to the second one, 3 to the third one, and 4 to the fourth. So then it'll still continue with all of that, which is fine. And then once we confirm it, once we actually confirm our time, which means that we're moving on from the level section, we can add a custom event called confirm level section. These might become a little confusing, but that's what refactoring is for. Hey, am I right? Make shitty code and then spend months trying to update your shitty code. That's the best way to do it. The only thing I'm forgetting right now is to increment this integer. Which should only happen once we have confirmed that we're moving on to the next integer. So to the next level section. And then the only other problem I foresee is what to do in case we're retrying a level. But I think because the game mode gets reset when a new level loads, I think the variable will also be reset once that happens. Okay, we've made some changes. And now we are going to see that pay off. Okay. So we got 489. If we retry it now, the animation's still off, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. If we retry it now... Okay, we've broken a different part of our code. That is a... We've broken a lot of parts of our code. Okay. Okay. It used to work, and now it doesn't. Well, it never really completely used to work. I need to pull this to my side. I need to check what's going on whilst I'm playing it. Because else I won't be able to debug it properly. Not being able to see it is really hard. Let's make sure we do that. Right. Okay, so it hits the first one. And if I retry it... Oh. Duh. I'll show you what was going wrong. There was a do once in the way. And I've also realized what I need to pull out is this. I need to pull out the animations to the back here. Oopsie. Go. Just like that. Right, there we go. Okay, that's a few fixes. Let's pull this back to the side again so that I can see it whilst it's playing. Oops, let's hook this up though. Let's make sure we don't forget to hook it up. Okay. Oh. So 1 goes there, 2 goes there, 3 goes there, and 4 goes there. Alright, compile that. And let's play. Okay, so that's the fastest time. Very cool. It was something like 5 seconds something. Alright, okay, so it shows us how much we're faster. Yeah, we're faster than last time. Okay. Then if I confirm that and I know, then it starts counting in section 1 again. Okay, so we're almost there. Plus 243 milliseconds. Because it's still comparing it to the wrong thing. Oop. Let's test that again. Yeah, okay. Okay, so... Okay. Let me pull this back into view for you guys. Okay. So with the resetting of the timer, something still goes wrong. Ah, right, okay. Okay, so something still goes wrong. What is going wrong? Let's have a quick look-see. Because right now I'm looking at what happens when we confirm the time. Oh, nothing, because we haven't hooked up the actual custom event. We have never hooked up confirm level section inside of here. Nope, we haven't. What is this? Oh. Oh, right, it starts to new. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Anyway. No, I need to go back into here. Then I need to... Here... Is this the right one? No, it's not. It's here at the back. Not at the back, it's here. In between. Here we go. And then we do confirm level section. We weren't calling the event, so none of the subsequent code happened. Okay, not saying this will fix it, but it'll at least make sure that all the code happens. Alright. Okay, so we got 491, very cool. The animation plays, we start counting in the next slot, very cool. Okay, but I decide I'm not happy with section 2 time, so I'm going to retry that. Oh, hello. Thanks, YouTube Premium, for your free advertisement there. Asshole. Okay, we'll do some lo-fi piano mix, as we do. Let's turn it a little down, it's a little loud. Okay. Alright, okay. Sorry, we were in here. So I wasn't happy with the level time. Holy balls, it works. Now, the only thing is, what happens when I reset the level now? Okay, starts counting in the right slots. Very cool. It shows us we're a little bit slower than last time. Okay, very cool. I'm going to confirm that. No worries. So I was really going for section 2. This feels wrong. I'm not sure why it is wrong, but it feels wrong. So on section 2 we've got 4 seconds and 93 milliseconds. Let's try it again. Okay, very cool. We're 2 milliseconds faster than on the first section, but 493 was our second section. And we're coincidentally, we're also 2 milliseconds faster. Okay. So it works. Right? It's definitely saving everything. I can see it getting saved. And if I now do section 3, what happens then? Okay, it shows us our first time. If I redo that, it was like 488 or something. We're 5 seconds slower. Okay, awesome. It works. It works. I'm sure there is definitely something. Yeah, okay, awesome. This works. Alright, yeah, you guys are having a great discussion about frame buffers and everything, and I'm just sitting here like, yeah, frame buffers, am I right? Woo! Definitely know everything about those. For those that are missing the sarcasm, I definitely don't. I definitely do not. Alright, so last thing to quickly fix to make the system really work properly is the absolute value thing that we mentioned earlier. That you guys mentioned earlier. Which means I need to do that inside of the game mode, because the game mode is where that magic is happening. Which is not inside of the event graph, it's inside of level flow. Resetting close as well. Clear the latest set time. Reset the timer. Called from BP. What is that called again? What is that blueprint called? Let's copy it. There we go. Because then I always know which blueprint is being called in. At least I like to do it that way. Let's move this a bit like that. I think that's fine. Let's move you guys down here. Actually, down here. Let's all these lonely little custom events, and then together they can all move back again. There we go, roughly. Okay. Let's move this back a bit. Increment the level section, the current level section integer. Current level section integer. The only problem is that if it does that in the last segment, it's gonna set it since level section 5 when it's not, but you know, it's fine, it's whatever. Play the level section time confirmed animation, UI animation. Right, there we go. Okay, and then this one is just based on the current level section, execute the right code. Okay, very cool. So that's all figured out. Then we just got to go in here, and before we turn this into a string, let's first turn it into an integer, right? Also, you mentioned absolute. Absolute, nice, very cool. Which we can turn into an integer. Integer. Oh, actually, can we first turn it into an integer and then? Oh, actually, I need to floor it to turn it into an integer. There we go. And I can make this an absolute. And then I can put it in here. It's not super clean, but it works. There we go. Cool. Which should now fix the need for the minus and plus stuff. Right, okay. So now, if we put in the world record time of 4 seconds and 59 milliseconds, and we retry that, and we put in an even faster time of, yes, of 4 seconds and 1 millisecond, we are 58 milliseconds faster. Now, a little bit of fluff to add there would be to not make it all go through the same return node and actually add some colors there. But we're going to save that for a later time. I'm going to save that as a last task that needs to be done here. Add a load game state, but also because we need to load the game. Actually, no, this is automatically somehow. Well, it's fine. We'll leave it for now. We'll investigate later. Add colors based on if we are faster or slower. Cool. Save changes. Awesome. Okay. All right. That puts us in a really good place. Display the right variable based on if the player is faster or not. Okay. All right. So for people in chat, you have a choice. There's a few things we can do, right? Because we have about 40-ish minutes left for this stream, give or take. So there's a few things we can do. We can either do a little bit of level design, right? It won't be very much, but we can do a little bit, which should be a little more hands-on. We can do a little bit of concept design, which is something that is not part of this game, but just part of a random concept I'll pull out of my list of, 1 million concepts. Or we can go onto Play My Game, where we download someone's game, we play through it, and we give them feedback to help them learn, to help them understand game design better, to help them understand the game development process better, just to be helpful people. It's up to you guys. I know I can create a poll somehow, I think, through my chat bot. But how to... Oh, here it is. I can... Yes, I can... okay. I can say level design. Add. I can say concept design. Add. Yeah, more characteristic. There's a few things to it. I'll explain in a second a little bit. Concept design and play other people's games. Also, if you guys have a game you want me to play, specifically an indie title or maybe even your game that you want me to play or to review or something, let me know. That's always useful as well. Everyone has voting permission. Use a timer. Is this the amount of minutes? The amount of seconds? No idea. Let's not use a timer. Okay, now voting on what to do next. We are learning so much together, guys. Here we go. Oh, look at that. So if you do exclamation mark vote and then 0, you vote for level design. If you do it for concept design, if you want to do concept design, then you yeah, if you want to do concept design, you have to do 1. And if you want to do Jugger, I'm glad you jinxed it. I'm very glad that's the case. And then yeah, if you want me to play other people's games, then do 2. Alright, but right now... Oh yeah, I can see it live here. Awesome. Alright, 2 people for concept design, 1 person for level design. I'm not expecting there to be millions of people. Yeah. Okay. Alright. We'll pick up level design in that case in the next stream. And we'll do a little bit of concept design right now. And for that, we're going to have to do some other things. We have to do some sneaky. Which is none of this one. Because what I want to show you... Well, I say that, but... where am I going to put this at the moment? Because we can do this together, right? We can make a concept together. Or at least we can go through steps together, right? Where am I going to put this? I'll just make it a random thing at the moment. Yeah, sure. Sure, we'll do it this way. Alright, so. You absolutely beautiful creative people. Let's have a look-see, shall we? So there's a few things, and I have them all on my phone, because I tend to get my most creative ideas when it's like 2 in the morning. It's not actually the case, I tend to be asleep at that point, but I get my most creative ideas late at night, so I always have my phone nearby, so I'll tend to do that. So I've got a few ideas here, and we can vote on those as well. Which basic theme are we picking? Let's pick sure. Sure, what a pretty theme. There we go, because we're cool. We stop short of certain words. Alright, I don't need a subtitle. I just need a new slide. Give me a slide. What the hell? There it is. Alright. Concepts to choose from. And I'm picking these out from my list. Right? So these are not well defined at all, but we're going to work on that together. Okay, so we have the Diana Burnwood simulator. Now, for those of you that have not played Hitman, she is a character in it, and she's basically your boss, and she like gives you directions and guides you and whatever, right? So essentially what I mean with this is you are guiding your own hitman to his target by looking through cameras and analyzing intel / listening into conversations, etc. Right? Something like that. I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what I mean. So that's the first concept, right? As I said, these are totally not worked out. I'm making up a new game. Yeah, essentially what we're doing is we're gonna turn this into a fully fledged concept. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that in half an hour, but we'll find out. And then that concept is basically just free out into the world. If someone wanted to use it, they could. If I wanted to work on it after this game that I'm working on now, then we could do that, right? But we're just gonna do a few of these exercises to keep our brain muscles flowing, which we've learned at the start of the stream. Our brain is not a muscle, it's an organ, but to keep our brain organ flowing, and to keep our concept design skills sharp. Oh, I've got a great talk about GDDs that's on my YouTube, but I'll repeat it as well next stream, I think, if I don't get to it this stream, on why I think GDDs are generally speaking a bad idea. Okay, so what is this next one? Okay, this is interesting. I don't have a name for this one. This one's just called 2D Platformer. Right, excellent name. Half an hour tops, yeah. Right, a 2D platformer, surprise, where you have to build the levels for the character whilst they try to reach the end. Now, this could be a co-op game, but for scope's sake, we're going to say this is an AI. So essentially, this character is going to follow a preset path, and you have to make sure that they can follow that by building the level for them and helping them not get hit by traps and stuff like that. That's kind of the idea here. All right, so that's the second concept. Let's do one more from this list here. Oh, I like some of these quite a bit, to be honest. I think some of these are pretty cool. But I'm obviously biased, so. Let's do this one. This one's pretty gimmicky. I like this one. This is pretty cool. Right, so I also... do I have a name for this one? I do have a name for this one. ZTD is the abbreviation, and it stands for Zombie Toolship Designer. That makes no sense. That should have been Zombie Tool... Well, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Zombie Toolship Designer. We're gonna work this out. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll keep my phone further away. My mic is indeed... well, my phone is interfering with my mic. Yeah, that's true. But this concept is you are the weaponsmith, smith, in a zombie apocalypse, entirely bound to your own shop, providing weapons, well, designing and providing weapons to survivors, right? And so what I imagine for this concept is the same thing that you could do in Dead Rising. Is that what it's called? Dead Rising? Yeah, that is what it's called. The same thing you could do in Dead Rising, where you can combine like just seemingly ordinary stuff to turn it into like crazy weapons, right? So like a teddy bear with fireworks and like a baseball bat, and you have like an explosive baseball bat, like stuff like that, or like a wheelchair with like cans of hairspray and lighters, and you have like your own like flamethrower wheelchair kind of thing, right? And so what you do, Dead Rising is a lot of fun. I definitely agree. What you would do is you would get survivors coming to your shop. They would provide you with materials, right, random shit, and then you can see how you can build them together into a weapon. That's kind of what I'm thinking for this. And then you give those weapons to those survivors. They're going to go out, and if the weapon is good enough, they're going to be able to come back again with more materials, right, and with better materials, so you can make even better weapons. Kind of. That's kind of like the thought process I'm going through at the moment. So based on that, right, let's give all of this a number again. And we'll do a lovely, lovely little thing again, where this is number... actually, this is number 2, because that's how the chatbot counts. This is number 1, and this is number 0. And I'll make another poll, which is... oh, okay. Which is... yeah, so I just had to close my previous poll. Which concept to take? And then the option is... Diana Burnwood Simulator, Burnwood Sim. Oh, shit, how do I remove options? No, I want to remove options. Can I just... Oh, here we go. Ah, that's how you do that. Okay, that's a little stupid UX right there, but it's okay. Then we've got 2D platformer. Add, and we have ZTD. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I'll actually make one of these. Or someone else will actually make one of these. Absolutely. Definitely. Alright, poll started. So yeah. 0 for Diana Burnwood Sim, 1 for 2D Platformer, and 2 for ZTD. Yeah. So ZTD does sound like the more ambitious of the 3. Even though the first one could, the Diana Burnwood Sim could also be quite challenging. Alright, I'm just gonna take this as it is. And the Diana Burnwood Sim is a no, because no one voted for that. And then 2D Platformer and ZTD is tied at the moment. Ah, Bozomoto coming in with that vote for Diana Burnwood Sim. Right, so it's a 3-way tie. I think what I can do... Oh, I can't do that in here. Okay, let's roll a d3, shall we? Roll a d3. D3 dice roller. A 3-sided dice. This would not work in any way. Has it already rolled? Can I... Okay, yeah, so it did already roll. Okay, so number 3, so that's ZTD, right? That's the one we're doing. Okay, alright, awesome. Okay, we have, so I can click stop. Alright. Yeah, okay, so my chatbot has just notified you that there's a tie between all 3. But we're focusing on ZTD. Alright, cool. So, the chosen concept... is this one. Now, there's a few things we got to figure out, right? Because we don't just go from yeah, this concept is really wild, I know. We can't just go from 2 lines into a fully fledged concept just like that, right? So there's a few things we got to figure out. And let me just type that for a sec. We have to figure out how do I best put this in which order will I add stuff. We have to figure out reference games, right? In a few different ways. We have to figure out our design pillars, right? The stuff we want to stay within, right? The boundaries we set for our design. We want to figure out our MDA interpretation. It's not really an interpretation though. We'll just do it like this, MDA, which actually comes before our design pillars. Then after our design pillars, we want to design our core loop. Design core loop, in which we also take a look at the win and loss states. Fantasy Blacksmith. Okay, so here's what we can do, right? So obviously one of the reference games is going to be Dead Rising, because that's kind of like where I first deducted this idea from. Okay, so we'll definitely use Dead Rising as one of our reference games, and we'll do some research into it in a moment. One of the other things you've just mentioned is Fantasy Blacksmith. I've not heard of this, so let's go into Steam. I presume it's Steam. I might be wrong, but I presume that it's on Steam at the moment. Alright, so in our store, Fantasy Blacksmith. There it is, $2.24. Wow, that's really cheap actually. It's got mixed reviews. Okay, but that's okay. That's not a problem. Become the best blacksmith in the world. Oh wow, this looks. This looks tedious. Is that the right way to describe it? Yeah, this looks interesting. Yeah, I can imagine this being pretty repetitive as well, and you know, all of this, the lighting is not great. It misses quite a bit of polish, right? But that's, you know, it's fine, whatever. Immersive, whoa. Don't pay attention to the bot saying you can't use caps. Yeah, don't worry about it. Old bloom in a dark room, just like actual work. Yeah, I know. Okay, but essentially what we're deducting from this, if we were to choose this as a reference game, it would be the more manual work that we have to do, right? That would be one of the things that is really the core of this game, as far as I can tell. Correct me if I'm wrong. One of the other games that also kind of has that is Mother Gunship. I'm not sure if it's on Steam. Mother Gunship. Oh, it is. Well, only a DLC for some reason. What? It only has one review. Where's the original game? Mother Gunship. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, Jesus. So, what this game tends to do, besides having like 6 million trailers, if the image wants to load. Is the image going to load? Can we reload the page? Okay. Yes, there we go. Alright, awesome. Oh, you think it was Blot Out the Sun, actually? I've never heard of Mother Gunship. Mother Gunship is fun, in my experience. But, like, the thing that makes it the most fun, which is crafting guns and using those guns in reality, is something you don't get to do very often. And so that's kind of like a shame, right? But what I like about Mother Gunship is the crafting method, right? So you kind of just get to you get a few connecting pieces, right? That have slots on them which you can attach stuff to, and then like from that you can essentially craft things, and the more connecting pieces you have, the more intricate your frame can become and the more interesting of a gun you can make. I'm going to see if they have a particular image of it. Like here you have a different type of gun because they have more connecting pieces. Here is another one, very different one. And there's all kinds of weapons that you can try. And all these weapons cost power. And so, you know, you have to like think of, okay, how am I going to put together this weapon? But it gets pretty crazy, as you can tell. Right? Jesus. And I think they even have one... No. They even have one where they have made an entire like square frame. And it's just guns upon guns upon guns, and it's just it is excellent. That part can be a lot of fun, and so that crafting mechanic is something that I quite like, and so for that, let's add that to it, right? Let's add it. We can start decreasing them at a later stage, but for now, let's just add all reference games where we're like, yeah, this has something cool that we might want to add. So mother gunship, and then specifically for the crafting mechanic, and then Dead Rising for the combination of weapons mechanic / thematic, because it might also be just a thematic, right? And then you mentioned Blot Out the Sun. Blot Out the Sun. Okay, it's not on Steam. Wrong page. Oh, wait, do you mean something else? Oh, right. Gotcha. I am incredible. Yep. I am definitely at a moment in time where I have all of the energy to filter my thoughts. Don't worry, I am totally fine. What about a little Inferno? For theme, make the parts be like empty cans and teddy bear limbs. Teddy attachment has soothing effect, etc. I've not heard of this. Let's take a look. Little Inferno. I've not heard of this game, I think. Yeah, this is there gameplay in this trailer? Pretty please. Okay, this is it's really hard to deduct what the actual gameplay is here. But we might have to do a bit of research into its actual gameplay, right? Which I don't think I can show that on stream, because it'd be, well, maybe it's like reactionary content. Maybe that kind of passes by the DMCA wall, but is risky. But what I'll add in that case, because we can do further research into this later. I'll add a little Inferno, and you've mentioned I can show gameplay on stream. Okay, all right. It's not like I make money with the streams anyway, so, you know, it's not like it matters if it gets DMCA'd, right? So let's quickly look at some of that. Let's turn off this lo-fi piano hits, you know, the good old stuff. All right, there we go. And let's grab some Little Inferno gameplay. All right, we've got quite a few. Let's just do gameplay. Oh, it has gameplay, no commentary as well. Alright. I definitely don't want... I am not sponsored by H&M, guys, just so you know. I'm not sponsored by anyone, so, just so you know. Okay, I think this is without commentary, which is excellent. Oh, you control fire, okay. 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 Terms and conditions. Oh, so you have to like add and burn Oh, so you get money from it. Okay. Catalog. Okay. Miss Nancy's so kind. Can you burn your catalog? Oh. Right. So these things get delivered, and then you can use them. And you have to make certain combinations in order to get stamps. And probably unlock more stuff is my guess. Oh, nice. So you get a few different blocks. That's... We add a piece of corn, and we'll add the collector poster. And then what happens? And you burn those all up. Oh, nice. You get popcorn. Wait, so how do you make more money? Because the guy just got only like a fraction more than what he had invested. How does that work? Because I can imagine that in our case, completing levels. What's the condition? What's the level condition? I also don't understand why he's constantly switching from frame to frame, from UI frame to UI frame. But I can imagine in our case, what could happen is, like, the better your weapon, the more zombies it can kill, and thus, you know, but bonus stuff is the main source, right? Gotcha. Okay, you are not being timed. Just making nice fire. Stay warm in the glow of your high-definition entertainment product. You can't do that forever. There's bound to be an end. Stay warm, Miss Nancy. Okay. Oh, who's this? I'm trying to understand the loop here. Because you can, like, buy new things. Which is being delivered. And, like, you have to keep building up a bigger and bigger fire. Which gives you more and more and more money, right? Oh, yeah, there you go. Would you look at that? Jesus. That looks to be quite a bit more that you're getting. Yeah, and some things take longer to destroy, essentially, to burn out. Right, and that's how you get more and more and more money. So the better your combinations, the better your fire, the more money you get from it, essentially. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so what we could add from this is item combination, right? Item combination, combinations. Yeah, item combinations have certain effects, right? That's something we could do. What else do we want to add? Is there anything else? We don't need a ton of reference games, right? You generally speaking, from what I know, you need 3 or 4 maybe. Something to essentially get you going. Because parts of our loop is people come to you. They want to buy some of your weapons. They go out and kill zombies with them. They come back. They bring you new stuff. You make new weapons. They go out again, etc., 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 etc. right? That is kind of the idea. And so I think we might have everything we need here. Do we maybe want to add a thematic? Right, we'll check that out in a second. Do we maybe want to add also a thematic reference game? You studied gems or something. That could be cool. Yeah, so what we would do at some point, right? What we would do is we would take these reference games, we would purchase them or find an opportunity to play them, and then based on that we take notes, and it can be serious or silly. It doesn't matter. We're not locking ourselves in too much at the moment. We're just seeing where this takes us. You know, it's still very open and free. We're first diverging before we're converging, right? So, so serious or silly does not matter at the moment. We can do either or. Because then what we'll do is, well, what we could do is that in the next stream, which will probably be upcoming Wednesday, right? I'm just thinking about which day that is. That is the 18th, not the 18th, no. It'll be sometime next week. We'll be able to play these games, make notes, and I can kind of take you through the process that I tend to go through and that I was taught at university. And then we can go from there, right? We can kind of just keep building up this concept as we go along and make it more and more refined and really turn it into something that could be picked up by anyone. But also if we wanted to pick it up after the current game finishes, then awesome, right? Now then we have something ready. It keeps us nice and smooth with our concepting skills. Because thematically, you could say, obviously, you know, Dead Rising style, but that introduces a lot of art scope, from what I can think of right now. I mean, this game is going to be rather artsy anyway, so I think that's okay. But are there other references? Plants vs. Zombies. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is on Steam actually as well. Pretty sure it's on Steam. Yeah, there it is. Game of the Year edition. Hell yeah, let's go. Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies is actually a super interesting aesthetic. It kind of has the really cutesy style going on. Which could obviously make the game a lot more accessible for a lot more people, right? Because not everyone likes the nitty-gritty dark stuff. And seeing as we're going for Dead Rising crazy, right? Exploding teddy bears, flamethrower wheelchairs, you know, dart gun, yeah, just dart guns. We could make really crazy stuff and kind of like follow a lot of this as well, because what we just saw in this trailer, if I can highlight it again, you know, they got like buckethead zombies to introduce a bit of armor. They did a really good job at, you know, aesthetically making the plants really fit in really well, having a function each. But they have like a zombie bobsled team. You know, there's pretty crazy stuff. They got them like yeah. Dead Block has a nice style too. Yeah, so this is the thing, right? We're going for. Oh, does this? Okay, does not exist here. At some point, we'll have to determine. Oh, I've never seen this before. We'll have to determine between, okay, what is going to be our visual art style, right, which is a whole different conversation. But in terms of thematics and trying to see, in terms of craziness, what we want to do. I am not sponsored by any of these ads. I do apologize. I should get an ad blocker, but come on. Leave. Other water brands are available. Other Coca-Cola brands or other Coke brands, other drink brands are available, okay? Right, here we go. Alright, let's go into some... I don't need to hit a commentary. Oh yeah, this is pretty crazy looking as well. Yeah. I played this years ago on an Xbox 360. Nice. Yeah, the Xbox 360, that was the time, right? Yeah, this looks pretty funny and crazy as well. With like the screwdriver stuck in the head, and you know, the old man driving the car just now. Elvis on a rock and roll poster. Can I see some gameplay? Yes. Right, so they basically take things apart to get more resources and figure it out, right? Yeah, that seems to be the case. Yeah, so we could definitely go for a thematic style that doesn't take itself too seriously. So let's add dead blocks as well. Or dead block, sorry. Thematic reference. I also want to add to the little inferno that the writing style is pretty interesting. Writing style. Combination of weapons, mechanic, crazy weapon combinations, mechanic, not mechanic, combinations, thematic. Anything else from Mother Gunship? I don't think so. Okay, let's start with this. It wasn't an amazing game, but I love the art style. You basically survive in waves by bordering up windows. Gotcha. Yeah, but that's the cool thing, right? A game doesn't have to be amazing. What do you mean, Juggle, with keeping things light? I'm just curious on what you mean there. Yeah, games don't have to be amazing to serve as a reference game, and that's the really great thing about it. Because it means you can also pick up some of the things that made those games less amazing and see if you can improve them on that in your own game, right? So that's it's always a good source to also have some games that are not amazing. But I guess the main thing that I also want to share, absolutely, definitely, I definitely agree. Keeping things not so serious and nice and light will definitely open up a lot of possibilities for weapon combos. Absolutely. But what I want to kind of like say with doing this as well together, is what I see a lot, especially recently on Reddit, is that people will say stuff like, "My game is like Celeste," and that is not how you use reference games, right? Reference games are supposed to inform your design and supposed to help you understand the feeling you're going for, right? When people are playing your game. When you say my game is like Celeste or my game is like X game and you only have one reference game, 9 out of 10 times, or even 99 out of 100 times, it means that your game is more or less a copy. Reference games are like a mood board. That's a great analogy. They're like a mood board. They're supposed to give you inspiration for what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Creating these very loose borders around what your concept is going to be, right? And we're going to make those borders more concrete when we get to our design pillars. But for now, you just want this nice little mood board that's going to give you some inspiration of where you want to go. And saying just Celeste makes it a very not so populated mood board, right? You're going to get tunnel vision, and you're essentially going to create another Celeste, right? Which is a shame, because, you know, there is a lot of creative stuff to do, and yes, you can get a lot of nice stuff from Celeste. Celeste does some really cool things, but it's not the only 2D platformer that plays really smoothly out there, right? If you look at something like Bloody Trapland, it's a 2D platformer that came out years ago, I think 10 or 11 years ago. Let's find out when that actually came out. No, wait, there's a second one. I don't think the developers ever continued. Yeah, 2013. That's, God, Jesus, nearly 10 years ago. My God. But this game also plays incredibly smoothly. Like, it is super, super cool. And so if you have those two games, you can kind of, like, decide what parts of your own game you want to have inspired by which one of your reference games, right? That's kind of like the ideal position you want to get into, because at that point, what you're inevitably doing without realizing it is you are creating something that is combining popular things from popular games and seeing what that looks like as its own thing, which could be seen as doing something original, which does not equal good, right? Original does not equal good, not at all, but not most of the time anyway. But you know, at the very least, it allows you to do that rather than just making another Celeste, or just making another whatever, right? Whatever your single reference game is. So this is the first step to making sure that your concept is on a good foundation. Let's start it. Let's call this the foundation of our concept. This is the landscape in which we're going to build our house, right? It's just the area. We've defined what we want it to be, and we've looked up some pictures on Pinterest on the architecture that we want to use for our house, and we've got some few different styles together. And well, this is what we're going to create. So what we'll do next time, because we're just getting close to rounding off the stream now, what we're doing next time is I'll make it an extra stream, right? So it's not part of the usual stream schedule. I'll make it an extra stream where we play these games. Essentially, we'll play Dead Rising, we'll play Mother Gunship, we'll play Little Inferno, and we'll play Dead Block. If I can still find Dead Block, if I can still buy it somewhere. And we're just going to see what the things are that we want to specifically get from there. If there's something interesting that we're picking up on, you know, stuff like that. Just to see what we want to do. So that is that. I want to thank everyone for watching. You've been amazing people. I hope you have an amazing continuation of your day. If you think I deserve it, make sure to follow the stream. If you don't think I deserved it, totally cool, also fine. If you want to chat with me more about all kinds of things, then I'd highly recommend going to my Discord, which is just a place where you can just tag me and we can just, you know, discuss all kinds of things. Yeah, I think that's everything. I had a great time. I hope you guys did as well. And we will see each other in another stream, hopefully in a few days from now. And otherwise, next week, Saturday, is the first slot in which we stream again. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll see each other next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.